Hello and welcome to the second part of this particular video that has to do with Timi Adehun and the celebrity actress Juliana. Now, if you watch the part 1, demands were made as at 2020 with regards to what he referenced in his public statement or his last statement about it before he said he should be called to court. So if you have not watched part 1, please do watch it to understand where I'm coming from. Now, let me tell you something. This man you see right here, back in 2020, what he made reference to on his post that he made an apology, the same allegations was actually there. Right now, I'm going to be reading to you a public statement that was made by the church leaders, of which this man did not step down. And then, right now, you are talking like this. I have never sexually abused anyone. I want to humbly state that there was no sexual intercourse with any. None was a minor, and my wife did not know about these actions while they happened. Remember, if you listen to what Juliana said, she said the wife was fully aware of everything that happened. And he is claiming here now that even though something happened, that there was no sexual intercourse. So there was some form of abuse, but there was no, oh God of mercy. Abuse is abuse. That is a fact. It only shows you that this man has no atom of remorse and rarely even owns up, because if you apologize, what did you apologize for? You say you apologize to the church. Is it the church that disowned you and you still continue the ministry? Let me tell you, back in 2020, the ministry themselves, the church leaders themselves, disassociated with him because of all these allegations. So I'm going to be reading something to you right now, dated back in 2020. And I want you to understand something. If you see the whole analogy about him and the lady Juliana, where he was like, okay, he controlled her social media handles, he was practically saying that he made her. Oh Lord of mercy. It's the same controlling attitude that he also had in the ministry. He controlled the social media platforms of the ministry, except for Twitter, that was not controlled by him. That is why this particular information is coming from Twitter handle of that particular ministry, which he does not have the password to control, okay? But the ministry is centered around him as a person. So let me read this for you, because back in 2020, allegations came before him, and this is what the leaders of the ministry had to say about the same human being that is still pastoring the same church. But let's go on to what this particular letter says, because people will not discuss it, but you have to look at patterns, because patterns don't lie. Patterns don't lie. People would not know about this, but they don't lie. Now look at this. Particular Twitter handle has been inactive since then, okay, because of course he's not controlling it, and this is where the leaders themselves had to speak about the situation that happened back in 2020, which he made reference to. So even someone that was his follower here said, a teenager here said, I read his apology and knew it wasn't genuine. I still pray that God will bring him to his knees. This is an attack from the enemy, devil. And that is how some people, they don't ever think in their life. Something will come out about your pastor and this and that, instead of them for you to encourage them to be humble, and this man was never humble in 2020, and even right now he's still not humble. Look at him talking about take me to court. The only thing I expect is going to court. The same pattern that he had in 2020 is the same pattern he's having right now. And all of this conversation started from the whole Facebook password thing, him controlling Juliana's Facebook page and making posts there, you understand? So even when the ministry disassociated from him, he still continued with the same name, and he's still been pastoring from 2020. So let's read this together. On Timi Adegun's sexual abuse of ladies, it is important that the record be set straight, as we believe it is expedient that the truth be said for the sake of the sensitivity of the young people that this ministry reaches out to. No wonder Juliana said this, that she only wished that the teenagers he's still counseling now, he's not still doing the same thing, because he was not remorseful back in 2020. But let's read about this also. On Tuesday, 13th of October, members and friends of the ministry got a shocking text message from an anonymous phone line accusing us all of covering Timi Adegun and endorsing his escapades with young ladies all over the years. We have been talking about Apostle Johnson Suleiman here. You have been seeing members coming here and they're defending and this and that. All of you that are defenders, you are endorsing that particular character. Pray that one day it does not become your own pikin that these things involve, or become your own sister, because that is when you understand the gravity of certain things that come out on social media. Just pray it does not involve your own family, because some of you are talking because you are floor members. No vex me, oh. But let's continue. The message read, shame on mine for not standing for the truth. Shame on Pastor Timi for manipulating and sexually harassing girls for over 5 years, physically and over the phone. Shame on over the phone. Remember what Juliana said, sending nudes to her sister. Shame on Mama for knowing and allowing Pastor do such. Shame on you for standing for such evil. So many bleeding victims. We shall speak the truth. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. All of Ona shame. This might have been sent by Juliana herself, because for her to talk about physically assault, physically abusing them, even harassing them, even over the phone, made reference to what she said. Okay, so let's continue. We definitely got bothered, and some leaders sought to get to the root of the matter by finding out who the anonymous sender was. All effort to do this proved abortive. Instead, we were met with more shocking news asserting that the accusations may have been true. In part 1, we looked at what another teen counselor investigated and found out that these things were true. The children were crying out, the teenagers were crying out to him like, this is true, but if we tell this to our parents, wahala, we may lose our freedom and all of those kind of things. So I understand the situation here, but continuing, we took the second most important step by reaching out to him, and every of those times, Timi Adigun insisted that God had asked him not to say a word concerning the situation. The same thing he was saying here. Even when he was making the video, he said, "Oh God, Holy Spirit, I prayed before I come on this live stream. Holy Spirit will direct my words." And after talking, he missed his line and say, Holy Spirit. Una don't use Holy Spirit name lie, yo. I quit for nebun, you are calling Holy Spirit. Now you're in Hatuasi, you are calling Holy Spirit. You are there doing Sakamaje, you are calling Holy Spirit. Look at this, is back 2020. The same pattern has not changed. Okay. Don't mind me, I'm just, you know what I do. However, some of the ladies had been victims of this sexual exploitation, reached out to the leaders in the ministry, and that was when we gathered the following. Number 1, Timi Adigun had indeed been sexually harassing some of the ladies in the ministry for over 5 years. He was involved in depraved immorality with them, including teenagers. Holy God of mercy, God of Moses. Continuing, number 2, Timi Adigun had insisted on a teenager meeting up with him at an hotel in Lagos from her school that was outside Lagos. It matches what she was saying, what Juliana was saying. So maybe Juliana's report was what really triggered this. He told her not to inform her family about leaving school either. Totally unconcerned about her safety. In the same vein, he had invited others too, telling them to come alone to meet him. These young people trusted him with everything. Some of their parents entrusted them to him. Oh my God. His wife, Titi Adehun, knew about this all along, just like we have been looking at Dr. Lizzie Sullivan. The wives, most of them, they know about these things, but they keep quiet. Oh God. This year 2022, if I got fugaka, she knew about it the very first time it happened, and the other times after that. Despite knowing, she still desperately exposed ladies in the ministry to her husband, accommodating some of them in their home. Remember, Juliana was talking about the fact that even after confronting him about what he did to his sister, did you release her? I'm like, what are you talking about? Did you release her? Can't you take your sister away from there? Now, call you. Don't annoy me here. This is how some of you will do. Papa. You cannot even stand and face the truth. You are living in fear and guilt, and that is your problem. I be asking you spiritual this. That thing that they are using to brainwash you and keep you in bondage. Get freedom. Drink water, drop cup. Get freedom this year. You are there. You are still now, Timi Adigun made some of the victims kneel before his wife to apologize for his own sexual immorality. As in, after knocking somebody speaking and doing also, they will still have to kneel down and apologize to you. That's how some of you are brainwashed in church. Maybe he doesn't have a big name like the big ministers we have looked at recently on the channel. Oh, maybe he's just teenager. Oh, okay. Because this, let me not talk. When met by some of the leaders again with more details, he still resorted to self-justification and said things like, "It is not like I do not take care of these girls. God of mercy, God will vindicate me. God will vindicate you. God will vindicate you." Oh God, my God will speak for me to justify his my God will speak for me to justify his sexual harassment of them. After this episode, he went on to block the leaders present and past from being accessible to him. Block. That's how I've been blocking some of you on this YouTube, on Facebook. I block, because if you say something, if you talk nonsense, block. But he went and blocked the leaders, the trustees of the ministry. No wonder he's the one controlling everything now, because everything is about him. You people have not yet understood things. He and his wife threatened some of the victims before, during, and after this so-called final apology, because he made an apology at that time. And we talked about what people reacted to, because it was just more of like, It is also worthy to note that Timi Adégún never stepped down. They wrote that in capital letter, because that was part of the requirement. We have said that our Apostle Suleiman should step down at least. You want to chill with the big boys? That means they run this show. Now my ministry is not your own. Look your members in the face, look your leaders in the face and ask them, "Who do you say I am?" Jesus asked his disciples that question. How many men of God can look at their disciples, their trustees, and ask them, "Who do people say I am? Who do you say I am?" If you can confidently do that, they will look to you, to your face, and tell you the truth. Except you are brainwashed and you are seeing all the things that are happening in your church and you are keeping quiet. You are an accomplice, and judgment will come on you. Not be me go judge you. I go analyze, talk, come out, but God is watching you. God is watching everyone, even me. It was also he said it times without number that he wasn't called into ministry by anyone, and no one can make him step down. And that is what many ministries are built on. Not accountable to anyone but themselves. What? If it was, oh God, if it's a Catholic church, one day, oh God, they will post you to one village. You don't know what is going on. Now, step down would mean he stepped away and handed over to someone else, which obviously never happened. Instead, he closed down the church and shut down the ministry programs for the year, after which he reached out to obviously carefully selected people to inform them of a new church running. They didn't reach him to be taught the word. He is really sorry. How sorry is he that he had to go and start another church? Oh God, I gave you business. This year, you must have sense. Timi Adégún was going to act like nothing went wrong until it was called out. Would he be sorry if he wasn't called out? We asked that question when it comes to Samuel Okposo. If Samuel Okposo was not called out and spoken about by the woman, would he have been sorry and now he had deleted the post and then, oh God of mercy. It is surprising that he still referred to mine as a family after cutting the same people off and blocking on social media every leader, both past and present, who has sought to offer help and counsel to this issue. No leader ever had issue with him until he was confronted with these allegations. He offered no explanation or apology to the ministry members, leaving most of them confused, and some had to ravage for information themselves. He dissolved the family groups and stated clearly for everyone to do as they wished in their respective in a long text sent by his wife to all the ministry platforms right before they both cut off from everyone, just to go and start another one. Why? Because they're not cutting off from the people, they're cutting off from the leadership that they cannot be accountable to, and now they're still playing with sharp sand. Oh God, from where we stand initially, Timi Adégún's actions up till now had not reflected remorse at all. Even till today, he does not reflect any remorse. He's talking about, take me to court. Where is your evidence? I have facts and figures. What facts and figures do you have than your leaders telling you to your face? One day you have heard, apologize, step down. But he had to go and start another church. One day, Don't mind me, but you know I'm serious. Now, in lieu of this, we still do not recommend any parent or church body to trust their words with him. Any young person, teenager or child involved with Timi or Titi Adehun will be doing that at their own risk. Signed, the ministry leaders. So those of you that are still going to that ministry, some of you that are still going there, the ministry leaders have said it, because right now I've checked his Instagram handle. He's still running the church. He's called it the Mind Nation. I've seen kids there. Wow, happy pictures, wonderful. The past has been dug up. Has he changed from then? What Juliana was talking about is what happened back in 2020. It's now making the waves now because she has attention. She's a public figure. Now imagine people right now come out that are public figures about certain things that are happening in some churches, like we know that we have been discussing about today. It's going to have attention, it's going to have weight. But many celebrities know what is happening with Apostle Joseph Suleiman. Many celebrities know what is happening in many of the churches, but they keep quiet. Why? Because make it be like saying I'm 𝐼𝐻𝐻𝐿. Things where they happen plenty, and they tell you things where they happen plenty. This year, people's eyes will open by fire, by force. One, if the leaders are saying this, no wonder their Instagram, they are not controlling it. He's not controlling it the same way he was controlling about Juliana's social media account, that she was asking for her passwords. That is the same way he was controlling that of a church. And all this apology, now for WhatsApp group they do. Did you come and do it publicly on Instagram or this? Because I tried to find video of apology, I did not see. Maybe you wrote a written whatever. Maybe right now he had deleted that apology that he wrote or something. Because people have said that particular apology was not even genuine at all. So if you are watching this, Oga Timi, if you are watching this one, so I'm taking a close eye because we are watching. You are now asking for court. You are now asking that you should be taken to court when your leaders themselves have told you to your face that you are a sexual predator. Teenagers. How do you expect them to grow? What kind of mindset do you expect them to have? Or do you want them tomorrow? And they will not want to come out tomorrow and start making video like some of us that are very, very confident people. That way we say, they fear one day. By fire, by force, anyhow one day. These are people's futures that you are messing around with. Have you repented from back 2020? For a fact, what I know that you have not repented from is that lack of remorse for the things that you have done. Because the same pattern is right here. You are not owning up for what you have done. You are saying right here in your post that you have not sexually abused anyone. Is it from 2020 till now or ever? Because your leaders have verified that you molested and abused these girls. Oh, it had to take someone that is a public figure. Imagine how many public figures that are in many of these churches that we have analyzed that could come out and speak. But they will not speak. They hold their followers and their attention. When people's attention are drawn to this, it's not to bring any man of God down. It's for them to know, at least have that remorse and apologize. Show that you are human. Don't bring all this in here and God told me, Holy Spirit, touch not my anointed. If I see comment on this video that said touch not my anointed, touch not my anointed, but the anointed is touching your sister. Touch not my anointed, but anointed is molesting people here and there. If your sister was there, if your sister or if your family member is the one that the pastors themselves are molesting, you can make porn touch not my anointed. Oh, ibrum my way, baby say yokoya there. Don't worry. It's because you are not close enough to these people that you are reverencing and worshiping. That is why. You are not experiencing what people have experienced and they are talking about. No vex me for y'all. Anyway, later this now you go relate. See you guys later in my next video.
Onídúró mi ẹ ṣeun o. Onídúró mi ẹ ṣeun púpọ̀. Ó jẹ́ ènìyàn ló dúró mi wọ́n ti mọ̀ ṣe é gùn. Onídúró mi ẹ ṣeun o.